see so many people here. To be honest, I was very excited that I'm here in Lansing because last years we had not many people. So yay, thank you for all the friends also here. I'm going to talk about AR, augmented reality. And this talk is not very technical, but I want to share my experiences, what I have learned while developing mobile AR apps. Yes, about myself, my name is Kristina and I'm an independent consultant. I'm also an Android GD and mobile AR organizer. So the first tip of today, don't organize the conference and give a talk at the same time. Yes, and I'm also in love with augmented reality. And my first augmented reality mobile app was in 2011 for Equinor, an oil company here in Norway. And I really liked what it can do, and since then I was following augmented reality mobile development. And since 2016 I have been working on 3 mobile AR apps. When I say AR apps, I mean mobile AR. Yes, so it all started in 2016. Maybe you all know 2016 is the year when Pokemon Go was released, and it got so popular that even our Prime Minister was playing it in the Parliament, and it was on the news. So yes, and a lot of people started talking about AR, and it was hyped, and yes, we do AR, we want AR in our apps, we want AR basically. And back then it was really hard to do something for mobile. You would have to use Unity, you would have to use Vuforia SDK or Wikitude, and you would have to buy a license that would cost you some money. Like Wikitude, for instance, is $2,500 per app. So if you're a startup, it's kind of a high cost to pay. So good news came in 2017 when ARKit by Apple and ARCore by Google was released. And now we can do AR apps, both native and in Unity, for free. That's good for us, for developers, that we can prototype, we can release our apps. And they really made it easy to develop and very fast. So, is it really a difference to develop a mobile AR versus usual mobile app? So, all apps go through 3 stages. I say idea, design, and development. When now someone will come to me and say, "Oh, we want to make a to-do list app," I already know that, okay, it's a list, it's an activity with creating a new task, everything is clear. Everything is clear how to interact with it. The designer already knows what works for Android, what works for iOS, and everything is straightforward. And so the idea goes to designer, designer works with the design, and it goes to development. And we get this, okay, there is a list, there is activity, everything is fine. Maybe you have a login button, yes. In AR, it's not that easy. So, you have an idea, and to be able to see if this will work, you really need to understand how the technology works. And sometimes, you get this person that saw something like this on Facebook. And he comes, or she, okay, I will say he comes to me and say, really, it's AR. I saw AR is the next big thing. It's like Bitcoin of 2018. We need to do something like that. Well, this person read AR, big, huge, big future. And that's the expectation they expect when you use this phone and you're in the baseball hall. So, you have to be prepared. If you want to work with AR, if you want to create mobile AR apps, you have to know what you're talking about. You have to show the customer what can be done. So, from 3 apps I've done, the experience is like that. They show you demos like that, and you need to explain in a good way that, well, that's not possible for mobile AR, and really show what is possible. And talking about AR and what can be done doesn't really help. So you really need to show a demo. If you cannot find something similar on Play Store, it's really easy to make a demo in Unity or download some samples from ARCore or ARKit. And really, we have now a lot of other apps on both stores you can download and see. And it also helps you if you download, for instance, a Pokemon Go app. You can see what technology can and cannot do and what works and what cannot. So if the idea goes through 3 stages or 3 checkpoints, you're good. Now I will go to these 3 checkpoints. The first one is room scale experience. So what it was shown before, the baseball hall will not work because the technology doesn't work like that. We really need to understand what's around us, and the best way is like maybe 5 to 5 meters, so 10 to 10 meters experience. If it's more than that, you have a problem. So you really need to talk to the customer to adjust the expectations. Environment is very important. First of all, it's lighting. Let's say you're in the museum and it's really dark, but they want to do some spooky thing for Halloween. Well, you say, well, yes, your idea is very good, but it doesn't really work that way. It will not work, and your experience will not be the best experience you can do with AR. The second one is that the texturing of the around surroundings. For example, this carpet is very good for AR experiences. For example, this table is also good, but if you have a plain white table, like here on the picture, it will not work. That's why I have a magazine on top of it, so the ARCore and the ARKit can make anchors and can understand the environment. The third important checkpoint is the graphics. Most of us, or most of the people, would maybe want to have a realistic 3D person standing, like for example, Obama standing here, or yeah, why not? But as a recommendation, it doesn't really work well. You might end up with your battery drained in 15 minutes, and you really will see that that's not the real Obama. So experts recommend to use cartoonish looking, low poly models, and that gives you the best experience. For example, for testing is Poly API from Google. They have a lot of 3D models that are actually published by Common Creative's license, so you can download, you can test, and they even have an API so you can dynamically use it in your app. For example, if I am in, say, by voice Apple, so suddenly it will find the apple and will put it on your table. So we went through idea. So the idea is fine. All 3 checkpoints are done. So the design. Is it really hard to design for AR? For instance, it's just many things. It's just a camera app, maybe with 1 button. But it's not really that easy. Yes, there is a camera app, but you need to interact with your 3D environment. So people are still debating what are the best options to interact with 3D. Is it the voice? Is it gestures? Is it some other kind of input? So it's try and error, and for some apps it will work with the voice, for some apps it will not work. So you are up for a challenge. And because of lack of UI metaphors, it's really hard to ship an app without having onboarding process for your experience. So I really recommend, and even if when I worked with the customer and the customer asked for AR and they got the demo and they said, we don't understand how it works, but you just ordered this experience. So yeah, even for your customers that want this app, you have to do onboarding process. And you can do it now with Lottie in non-native apps, and it's really easy with animations. So the development, yes, you went through an idea, you were very pessimistic, and I do that all the time because people come with crazy ideas. And you explained that design is not that easy, and we have to maybe spend a little bit more money to UI test and UX test and see how if the customer even understands what the app is about. So we went to development. Do you think it's easy? Not really. It's as in usual native or mobile development. We have to decide: do we go native, do we go for Unity, or do we even try and do something in the web? So I say it really depends on your use case. For instance, if you have already an existing app like IKEA, they have a catalog, and you just want to show how your sofa will look like in your living room, and you have already a native Android app or iOS app, so you just go for native. ARCore, ARKit will help you with that. If you want to create something like Pokemon Go or Ghostbusters, and it's really heavy for graphics, you probably advise to use Unity. And if you're really in love with JavaScript, you can try web. But to be honest, I tried to run some demos on web, and it doesn't work really well, even on my latest iPhone. Even on my iPhone X it doesn't work, and in my Pixel too. So it can be a challenge. And yes, and we have some other challenges as well when we develop for AR. So you see, for example, one of those is occlusion. So ARCore and ARKit doesn't understand that this other Android actually had to be hidden. And yes, but even though we still have so many challenges, you can create great experiences in AR. And I like to be positive, and I'm still in love with augmented reality, even if this talk might be a bit pessimistic. And I do believe that Tim Cook is right, and I quote, "I don't think there is any sector and industry that will be untouched by AR." I believe that we're still in the beginning of this technology, of the development of this technology, and we already now can create some amazing apps like Pokemon Go and like IKEA furniture app. We need to just be aware what are the challenges and make the best out of it. So if life gives you lemon, make lemonade. Thank you.